Today on D&D Academia, we discuss the large fiend known as the Howler. This creature can be found in both Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. The Howler has a challenge rating of 8, an armor class of 16, and 90 hit points. It has a speed of 40 feet, dark vision of 60 feet, and a +5 to all perception checks, with a 15 passive perception. It also has a proficiency bonus of +3. Damage resistances of cold, fire, lightning, and bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Condition immunity of being frightened. And as for languages, it understands ABYSSAL, but cannot speak it. As for actions, it does get multi-attacks. The Howler makes 2 Rending Bite attacks. Rending Bite is a melee weapon attack with a +6 to hit and a reach of 5 feet on one target. If it hits, it deals 2d6 +3 piercing damage, plus 4d10 psychic damage if the target is frightened. This attack ignores damage resistance. It also has a mind-breaking howl, which can recharge on a 4 through 6 on a d6. The Howler emits a keening howl in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in that area must succeed on a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw, or take 3d10 psychic damage, and be frightened until the end of the Howler's next turn. While a creature is frightened in this way, its speed is halved and it is incapacitated. A target that successfully saves is immune to the mind-breaking howl of all other Howlers for the next 24 hours. The Howler also has access to pack tactics, where a Howler has advantage on attack rolls against a creature if at least one of the Howler's allies is within 5 feet of the creature, and the ally isn't incapacitated. Remember with that wording that it doesn't have to be a Howler, just an ally. Here is the lore of the Howler. A far-off wail precedes the sight of a Howler. Even at a distance, listeners' minds cringe at the sound and fill with horror at the realization that the noise is drawing closer. When Howlers go on the prowl, courage isn't enough to stand up against them. These nightmare creatures are native to Pandemonium, but they can be found on most of the lower planes, where they are trained as warhounds. Perhaps we will discuss Pandemonium in a future episode. Howlers can be domesticated, but they respond only to brutal training in which they are forced to recognize the trainer as the pack's undisputed leader. A trained pack then follows its leader without hesitation. Howler packs course over the battlefields of the Blood War, which is the war between the hordes of the Abyss and certain regiments of the Nine Hells. They also serve evil mortals powerful and vicious enough to command their loyalty. Howlers rely on speed, numbers, and their mind-numbing howling to corner prey before they tear it apart. Their howls flood the minds of their victims, making complex thought impossible. Listeners can do little more than stare in horror and stumble around the battlefield in search for safety. Fiends especially prize howlers for this reason, because for a few crucial moments in a battle, their howls can neutralize an enemy. Howlers can be terrifying encounters for your adventuring party. Also an interesting mount for those willing to sink to such depths of cruelty. Hopefully you now understand these creatures more and will use them in your own game. This has been our D&D Academia episode all about Howlers. If there is something you would like to see get its own Academia episode, mention it in the comments. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe.